One of the recent videos I did was on the misconception that people have about deeds and deeds of trust, where a deed is a receipt of ownership for a home and a deed of trust is a security instrument that banks or lenders use on a home. These are two different documents, and the deed, which is typically the warranty deed, is the document that has the owner's name on it because it is the receipt to show who owns it. The deed of trust may have the bank's or the lender's information on it. It may be used as a security instrument to put a lien against the home, but the bank never owns the home unless the home is in foreclosure, goes into auction, doesn't sell at auction, and becomes a bank-owned property. Up until that point, guess what? Whoever's name is on the deed is the owner of the home. Now, one of the reasons why I want to bring this up is to, number one, reestablish the clarity that, again, in real estate, the receipt of ownership is the deed. So the deed to that property is the receipt of ownership. In real estate, the mortgage or the deed of trust is only a security instrument on the property. It does not verify ownership. That's not who the owner is. Now, that person or that bank or institution can become the owner in the event whoever has the deed and who controls the ownership of this property, if they ever default on the loan that this security instrument is used against this property for, they can actually take that property and own it, which means the deed, which is the ownership receipt, will be transferred to that bank, to that lender, or to that institution. But up until that point, whoever's name is on the deed is the owner. Now, the reason why this is important, especially for real estate investors who are looking to invest in real estate creatively, whether it's through owner financing, more specifically through subject to real estate investing, it's easy to understand. Like if you buy a property subject to the existing mortgage, basically what you're doing is you're taking the receipt of ownership, which is the deed, you're buying the house, meaning that when the deed is transferred to the name of your company or your land trust or whatever entity you're putting it in, you are now the owner. What makes you the owner? Because you have the deed. This is the receipt of ownership. When you buy this home and it's subject to an existing mortgage, what that means is the person who owned it, the seller who sells you the home, who allows you to take transfer of that deed, they have a mortgage. That means they have a deed of trust from a bank or from an institution that is used as a security instrument on that property. There's a certain amount they're paying that mortgage every month, right? So that means they have a responsibility to pay that payment. When you buy it subject to, you're taking the deed. That means you have the receipt of ownership, but it is subject to this security instrument, this mortgage that you still have to pay and that you now are assuming responsibility for, even though it may still be in the name of the individual who sold you the home, but initially they were the borrower on the home when they got the loan from the bank.